welcome to Podcast Fandom, the official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm John.
And we are back to discuss the season finale of Only Murders in the Building. Only Murders in the Building. Sorry, I felt like I slurred murders before. You know, honestly, you guys, I think about this often. People who have to talk for a living, I don't mean like acting, we have to like recite lines, because like if you fuck up, they'll say cut and you do it again. But like newscasters and stuff, like that shit is hard, I think.
Radio DJs, yeah.
Yeah, because like at least I think it would be hard for me. Which is funny because when I first graduated high school, like I graduated a couple of times. But what I meant to say was when I graduated and should have gone to college immediately, like they tell you you're supposed to, that was what I had my eye on, broadcast journalism. I thought I wanted to be on TV. But I realized like when I catch myself, like how often I fuck up speaking. Yeah, I have no business trying to articulate anything to anyone besides you guys, because y'all don't care if I slur, right? Fuck up.
I mean, I care a little bit.
A little bit? Oh, sorry. Mispronounce words and shit.
I say shit wrong all the time.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
What do you mean? Like mispronouncing words?
Sometimes.
Nah. I don't think, When's the last time you mispronounced a word?
I remember one on this podcast.
Oh my God, tell me, because I don't.
I don't know why you guys are both talking. I'm the one that makes up all the fucking words.
Yeah, you do. But John and I, it's different because we know better.
Yes.
We're fucking up real words. We just allow you to make up shit. John, what did you fuck up?
Arabic.
I don't remember that at all. What did you say?
Arabic.
Did you really?
Yeah, it fucks me up because I blame it on being a 90s kid. Because the Aladdin movie, all I know is Arabian Nights. It's in my head.
Okay.
And so whenever I read Arabic, it starts out in my head Arabic. Because I'm like Arabian.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. When did you do, like, I feel like you're going to be like, oh, this was 5 years ago. Like, that's how traumatized you are.
I mean, it was a long time ago.
I do not remember that. That's so funny.
I mean, it may have been, I don't remember. It was when we were doing some show.
Did I tell you guys the time my dad, like, got pretty huffy about it? It kind of pissed me off in retrospect. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening. But, like, I did tell you guys the story. I think I might have told it on the podcast. Like, I didn't know how to say hearth, like a fireplace hearth.
Uh-huh.
I always thought it was hearth.
I thought it was hearth too.
Yeah, because I'd never heard it. I grew up in Brooklyn, apartments, the projects, duplexes, never had a fireplace growing up. Okay. My dad's house in Queens didn't have a fireplace. And I'd only read it. I knew what it was, right? But I'd only read it in books. So
yeah, you'd never heard it.
Yeah, I never heard it. And I never had to say it.
You never heard it.
I never heard it at all. So when we had our house built in Georgia, you're picking like your floor plan and stuff. And one of the things you got to pick was like, the color brick on the outside and also around the fireplace. And I remember, Donnie, do you remember this? The brick you wanted outside the house, I didn't want. I wanted red brick.
Right.
And then they told us that typically whatever you choose, like for the outside of the house, that's what they use to make the fireplace,
They
right?
just have the leftovers.
Right.
Because you usually buy it.
You're buying the materials, right. Because we had it built from the ground up. So when we were doing that, I said, he let me have the red brick on the front like I wanted. And they were like, if you want that as your fireplace, the other, it'll cost like extra. And do you remember? I think my dad paid for that, didn't he? Do you remember that? He did as a gift if you guys want it. It was a few $100, and I think my dad paid for that. So sorry, Daddy. Thank you. But when we were having that conversation about like picking the stuff, and I like said hearth or something, or somebody might have said hearth, and I was like, what's that? Like, he's like, you don't know that? I was so offended. I was like, first of all, I'm fucking brilliant and everybody knows it. But second of all, like, when the fuck was I supposed to know that? I never fuck this. I was literally talking about my first fireplace. Like, what the fuck? I was like 25, 26 years old. I didn't fucking know. Anyway.
I think it's bullshit that they made you pay extra.
I think it is too. Now, you know, when you get older and you start realizing just how fucked up everything is and how like everything is basically a scam. Yeah, I agree. That was bullshit.
Because like they're building more than one house.
Mm-hmm.
They can just keep that shit to the side.
Mm-hmm.
They probably have it extra already.
That's why I don't feel bad about any scamming I do.
Right.
Right? Do you realize, like, you do? Apparently, we're shooting this shit, but that's fine because this is going to be a quick episode anyway. Because we are only talking about the one episode of Only Murders in the Building. But can I just say really quickly, the older I get, the less I give a fuck about scamming systems. Not people, but systems.
Yeah, like stealing. Like everyone's talking about, how you steal from like the self checkout at a store, like at Walmart or something. I'm like, fuck it, do it.
Do it. Don't get caught, but do it. Steal everything you can.
I got something to share on that. So I was listening, because the radio show I listen to in the morning, they do these things where, like, I've told Nate about it, but they do basically 3 skits that they do every hour. One of them is to catch a cheater. One of them is, I can't remember one. But the other one is telling, like, a dark secret. And some guy called the other morning and said that his dark secret is that he goes into Starbucks and just grabs whatever drinks on the counter. Because usually the drinks on the counter, they have like a special counter just for like Uber Eats and stuff, for them to pick it up. And he just grabs it and goes.
That's Starbucks' fault.
Yeah, that's Starbucks' fault.
You leave that shit sitting there. Like, change your system.
But you go to any, like, I've gone into like lunches, go to Jersey Mike's and stuff, and they'll have like 3 tables set up, one for Uber Eats, one for Grubhub, and they just leave bags there. So there's nothing saying you walk in and just act like you're that person.
The only person I feel bad for, and maybe not so much Starbucks, because I think they're paid really well, is the person that has to, for like, you know, $12 an hour, go remake that shit.
Right.
When the person complains, you know, or when the DoorDash person shows up and they realize that I made it. It was sitting there, you know, like that type. I feel bad for that. I feel bad, you know, if the driver is going to maybe get less of a tip because it's now going to take longer. That I feel bad for the people doing the work. I do not feel bad for Starbucks or for HBO Max or any other services that I share my passwords to. I do not feel bad. Or any lies that I tell to get ahead in this world anymore, because fuck it. And I'm serious. I'm laughing, but I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, I mean, like, it sucks because some, like, restaurants will be like, oh, you lost that food, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
To,
that's
like,
what I
the
mean.
person
Yeah.
who, you know, sold it. And, like, that would suck. Like, right. And obviously, like, that's just, you know, like, these restaurants, they're just garbage.
Seriously.
These companies suck.
Do you notice how, like...
So if you could steal something...
Do it. Right?
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You cut off.
What?
I just heard, if you can steal something, and then it was silent, so I was like, do it.
Yeah, I stopped because you were talking. I didn't want to interrupt you. But yeah, like, if you can steal something from, like, a store... Like, especially the self-checkout, like, that's, like, no one's there, like, to be blamed for it.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely steal it.
Do it. Do it.
Steal it. Steal anything.
Absolutely. I don't know, did I tell you guys this? Well, I don't know if I told you, John, but, like, Donnie, it was all over Twitter. It happened here, but it was all over the place. A few months ago, there was an power outage at a supermarket, and they had like whatever the issue was, it was like, oh, well, it's not coming back up anytime soon. And, you know, they have all this produce. So they had to dump it, right? So
Oh yeah.
people were like, oh, Safeway or Fred Meyer, I think it was Fred Meyer, on so-and-so is got a bunch of fucking food that is just out in, you know, the trash. You know, you're going to go, yeah, and it's just perfectly good food that it will, you know, defrost or whatever in the freezer. So they threw out like all this meat and produce and stuff, and people were coming to get food. They called the cops, and the cops stood there and were like telling people, threatening people, like, no, they said they just threw it away. It was literally going to the dump. It's food. And they were like, and then because I don't remember, I don't know if they sent like 2 or 3 cops. Eventually, I think it was something like 6 cops standing out there. But at one point, they were purposely pouring stuff on the food so people couldn't take it and eat it.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit they do, like at like, I don't know, like at farms and stuff. Like in Orange Grove or something, like whenever they have extra that they can't, they say they can't give it away because like that devalues what they have. And it's like, why? Capitalism sucks.
It really fucking does. So we're going to talk about this episode. I'm sorry, you guys will get let's properly shoot the shit tomorrow when we cover Titans. How about that? Is that okay?
Sure.
All right, and Donnie's off. All right, so let's dive into this finale. It is the season finale, not series, because as we mentioned before, Only Murders in the Building was picked up for a season 2 on Hulu. This aired like a little over a week ago, right? We got behind because of school and work and life stuff. So I just finished watching it a bit ago, but I had watched it like the night after it aired because I didn't want to get spoiled. I went from the show is funny and I don't give a fuck about the mystery to, oh, I watched it immediately because I didn't want to
because I want to know what the mystery is.
Yeah. But so just really quickly, overall thoughts, John. No, Donnie, I'm gonna start with you since you're so quiet.
I liked it. I did feel like, so I don't know if it was me or if it was a collective thing about suspecting her as the murderer. Because I know it was brought up in one of either the last podcast or podcast before about her with the cell phone, and I think I had said that if she was the killer, that's a perfect time for her to delete any
to go through the phone. Yeah. I remember that.
And it's very interesting. Like I wonder if they filmed 2 different endings because it was just renewed like just recently, and now that we've seen, okay, the very first scene of the series is like a whole different murder. I wonder if they filmed 2 different endings. And they were just waiting to see if they were going to get renewed or not.
Yeah.
So that's interesting on that.
Who is my dog growling at?
I don't know. People walking by.
I wondered the same thing, and I just haven't had time to actually do it. I don't know if either of you did, but was it always tie-dye guy dead in the first episode?
I don't know.
Well, you know what I mean, like the tie-dye hoodie.
The tie-dye jacket. I don't know if I really paid attention.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention. I feel like if we had paid attention and noticed, that's something we would have brought up though, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing is like you said earlier though, like we didn't really care about the mystery.
Yeah, we really didn't.
And that's the whole thing. It's even with the like it was just a random crazy white lady. Like it was like
I mean, she wasn't necessarily it wasn't attached to the stuff we thought it was going to be attached to, like them stealing from those apartments and all of that. So I see that, but I don't feel like it was random. I actually kind of liked it, but I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, I did. I mean, I liked it and I enjoyed the show. Like the whole show for the whole season, everything was. I mean, it was very funny. They all worked together really well.
Who was your? Well, I'll ask you both after we talk about the episode. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it. I enjoyed it.
Okay. What about you, John?
Yeah, I liked it. I'm trying to remember like specifics because I did watch it like a week ago.
Oh, okay. I was like, he don't sound like he liked it.
But I liked it. I know, like, when we talked about it on the last podcast, I'm pretty sure, I know I was, and I'm pretty sure y'all were too, like, just expecting it not to be Jan.
No,
because they were,
we thought it was too.
They were saying it was, but I was like, oh, it's too obvious that it's her. I think it's somebody else.
Right. But I don't know if you remember. But one thing we did say was because there's only that left, it just feels like it kind of has to be. Because there wasn't enough episodes left for it to be anybody else.
And I had brought up, like, would you guys be okay with it not being solved? Like, going into season 2 with the continuation of the same murder?
I don't remember what my answer was.
I think both of you guys said no. Like, you guys would not like that. You guys would need this to end.
Okay, I don't remember. Okay, yeah, that's what I said.
But I enjoyed this. I like it turning out to be her. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I was hoping it wasn't her or something like that. You know, it was just like I thought, oh, well, maybe it won't be her, and because why not have a twist?
The only thing I remember feeling about it not being her, like the reason why I would think that. It just felt like a really cruel thing to do to Charles, but he seemed to be over it. Okay, so I'm okay now. I just thought, why would they do that? Like, to introduce this just to have her be the murderer, but like to have them have sex, and it just felt like a cruel thing to do to one of the leads. But
yeah. So like, I liked it. I liked the way that it played out with him figuring it out and all of that, and it was all funny. Like having them do like Steve Martin, do his whole like
physical comedy,
yeah. And then the way it ended was like it's an interesting setup for the next season.
And it puts Tina Fey and it puts Tina Fey as like could be one of the main characters next season.
Okay, but can I just say, well, again, I just watched the episode a little bit ago. I don't know that I find Tina Fey very funny. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I wasn't really into 30 Rock. I've seen a bit of it. I thought she had a good Sarah Palin, but I don't think she what was the I don't think she was funny in this.
It's just a type of comedy. Like, I'm not a big fan of hers either. But I do think like when she does stuff with Amy Poehler, I think they're pretty good together.
Yeah, I've liked some of the things like when they're hosting something together and they're playing. Yeah,
I think they play off each other really well. Just like these two play off each other, but her by herself is not. Yeah, she's not.
And the reason I say that is because you said that about her possibly being more involved in season 2, and when you had mentioned her, I was thinking how they did that thing like after the credits, it came back to her and her assistant, and I thought, oh, okay, ooh, interesting. And then it what it wasn't even funny. I was like, they could have kept that. And so that's like my final thought of the episode was, ugh, they could have kept that. So for you to be like, maybe she'll be more in season 2, I was like, I don't know if I want that. Anyway, John, I'm sorry, were you done?
Yeah, I think, just the end of the episode just got me thinking, like, I spent a lot of time just thinking about where the next season could go. And I think that's a good thing.
Okay, well, I really enjoyed it, and let's talk about it. So we do this kind of really loose. It's a different type of show than I think we normally cover. And because we were doing several episodes at once, it's not very formal in chronological order. That said, I do have a question right off the bat. When I was watching it for notes and they're doing the previously on, it was Charles telling this story. Remember when he came to Jan's door after he fucked up their first date, and he tells her about what was that little girl? Lizzie, Sophie. What the fuck was that little girl's name? Anyway. And he goes, I was dating this woman. My longest relationship lasted 6 years, I thought he said. And he goes, she had a 7-year-old daughter and they moved in. And I was like, how old was his ex that she had a 7-year-old daughter? Like Jan, because they kept making a big point that he's so much older than Jan.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand if you two don't want to participate in this. Me, as a black woman, I'll go fuck. I'm going to say it. Like, it made me wonder if we're supposed to think Jan is like in her 40s? Because no.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to look and see how old, like, what is the actual age difference?
Right? Because, like, Steve Martin, I'm placing the characters as their actor's age.
Yeah, so he is
case.
23 years older than she is.
So, and how old would she be?
53.
Yeah, like, so his last girlfriend that he was with for 6 years, she had to be younger than 53. Right? If she has a 7-year-old?
Yeah, presumably. Like,
presumably. I mean, unless she had...
How long ago was... Because I guess
it
Lucy
wasn't that
now
long.
Is like, what, 20 or something?
No, she's like a...
I mean, she's like, but somewhere like 15, 20, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a few years, but I mean, like, remember the neighbor was like, oh, she was just talking to her the other day and she seems good. And like, I thought she was still young. Not like an adult, certainly.
Right, but still living at home.
But still like a young kid. Right. And that's like the whole thing of it being awkward with him trying to like reach out to her with the mom being the ex. So and it's just something that popped into my head. I was like, well, how old was the girl then? Because he's not very young, you know, but anyway. Mm-hmm. So the episode, we do get like, something I noticed was missing was the Tim Kono perspective that is in the trailer. And I remember, like, I didn't watch the full trailer. I remember watching enough to just be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to watch this. So I stopped it. But I remember it beginning with him being like, you know, in so-and-so minutes, I'm going to be dead. And I was like, ooh, that's interesting. And as we were watching the series, I realized, oh, why did they promo it that way when he doesn't, you know, but then we get it in this episode. So I kind of like that. And we don't really see how they met, right? But they just started fucking, apparently, Tim and Jan.
They met in the elevator. That's what she said. She's like, I met him on the elevator. Just
Okay. Because like
and
when
then they started fucking.
And then yeah. Because like the first time you see them meet, they were already fucking. So that's what I meant. I just wasn't sure like how they officially meet, because right before that, they show him in his apartment, like watching TV, and there's like takeout boxes, and he just looks really depressed. And then he talks about like you meeting someone who understands, blah, blah, blah. And the camera pans over. I thought he was going to hear her playing her bassoon or something like Charles did. But then it just cut to the elevator fucking. And I was like, okay.
That man don't know what a fucking bassoon is.
So were they using that bassoon cleaner for sex stuff?
They were using sex toys. I mean, they.
Yeah. I guess.
Given.
Yeah.
They were doing some kinky shit.
Pretending they were cats. I like when they were going to. They were thinking, oh, we got to warn Charles, right? And he's on his way back from the symphony.
Yeah.
And they go to the door, they're banging on the door, and he's like, okay, we have to break it down. She's like, we weigh like 125 pounds combined. He's like, thanks, it's the dips.
when he does try to knock it down, the noise Martin Short made. I just enjoy him in this so much. He just steals it for me. And it's little, and I told you guys last time, it just be his size and his the little noises.
Just everything. Like when they got into her apartment, and just him pulling out the cell phone to record shit.
Yes.
To be his funniest shit. Just in the middle of doing his crime. You're just like, I gotta record this.
Yeah, he goes, the saddest thing is, that if she wasn't a murderer, she'd be perfect for Charles. Oh my God. So Jan shows up to apologize for lying to Charles. And
but I like even her coming to the, like, before she gets there and they tell him, hey, she's the murderer. And in his head, he's immediately like, no. But then he gets by himself and he just put, like, all he needed was just that little jump start to start suspecting her.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was the trash bag and then seeing the note, and he could tell by the note that, hey, it's the same signature that was on the suicide notes. And, like, he just put it all together right there, and I love that.
So if he was whipped, is what you're saying, because once he took off the dick goggles, is that what they're called? No, beer goggles.
Dick goggles.
Pussy goggles. John, are you still there? Did we lose John?
I am here.
Okay. He's sitting there in shame. He's like,
got my goggles on.
But like, once he got over that, like, he was able to objectively, because it's not like there was new information, right?
Right.
Like you said, he just started looking at the other stuff differently.
He put on his Brazos hat.
Yes.
Sends the investigation in an entirely new direction.
When they were trying to break into her apartment after he kicked them out, and he was like, didn't you learn how to do this or something? She said, Charles taught me. I taught him how to Postmates.
Then Martin Short Oliver, he's like, you knew how to do this and you let me break my shoulder earlier?
Yes. So when she goes inside, like this, she's so smooth. Like, knowing what we know, I was just like watching her work, and I knew he was onto her, but still, it was like, yeah, it's funny how before we knew it came off as just like annoying. You know what I mean? Like, she can't take a hint. She's the third wheel or the fourth wheel in this game. You know, like, they don't want her around. And it just felt like she was goofy. But no, she was freaking conniving. And here, watching her kind of like try to smooth, you know, she's like, oh, can I come in? Can we have a drink? Can we have 12? I was like, look at her go. Even when she saw the bassoon cleaner on the table, she was like, did I leave this here? I was like,
she's like, oh, was there another bassoon player?
Mm-hmm. She goes, do you think he's targeting bassoon players? And he was like, no.
And it was funny because, like, I was like, oh man, he got her to confess his best acting yet. But then, no, she was just playing him.
Yes. I like how she was, when, like, you realize that she thought she had poisoned him, or he, like, that's what she wanted him to think. And he goes, I'm not drinking. Stage sips. He was so proud of himself. Stage sips.
Like, this is what I learned as an actor.
But I already poisoned you.
So the cat came in after. We do get solution to Evelyn's death.
I think
eating the blood.
Yeah, like, it was they just assumed. Because, like, they don't know.
Yeah, well, they don't know. Yeah, I feel like we're supposed to accept that, but yeah.
A nasty cat. Blood.
Is that not a cat thing?
I don't fucking know.
Well, you know, they say your cats will eat you if you. But no, like, there's the joke about, like, your cat's eating you.
Oh no, that's not a joke. That's true. Like, you might, like, fall asleep and wake up with no fingers.
You take a really long nap. It's like, I don't know. Might not have your digits. So she tells her side of it, and basically he dumped her, and then... But, like, why? She thought it was for someone else because he got that ring. But it wasn't about that at all. He was getting the... But they didn't say... Like, we don't know why he dumped her, right?
I don't remember.
So anyway, he dumps her, and then she gets him to come over, saying that he left some stuff there, and she, a drink, and she poisons him, blah, blah, blah. And this reminded me of the end of Clue, when they're like piecing everything together, because she was like, and then I went back and I practiced my pavash piece. He was like, no, you sounded different that night. I was like, look at little Sherlock Charles.
That was a recording. She's like, ah. She's so proud of herself.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she says at one point, like, the thing with Tim Kona was one of her rougher breakups. And I was just like, how many people has she killed?
Right, and the fact that she had all her own toxins and all kinds of poisons.
With her label maker?
Right, yes. Like Tim wasn't the first one, so I was waiting for them to tell us, like, or find out there was a lot more, but
Yeah, like, I wonder, like, how many people, like, she's has to have been doing this for a long time.
She because she's really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was not, like, afraid at all doing any of that stuff. But yeah, so she had poisoned his handkerchief. And, because she does have a line here where he was like, their handkerchief. She's like, yeah, not the glasses. She goes, I try not to do it. I don't want to be one of those people to do it the same way every time and make like a niche for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but he tries to say her J's gave it away. But his speech starts slurring, and then she realizes the handkerchief. And she also stabbed herself, and that's when Mabel and Oliver find the knife in her crawl space. Why would you keep the knife you stabbed yourself with?
I mean, she's a lunatic.
Like, why wouldn't you just clean it and whatever, or throw it away? But
it's a keepsake. Maybe she uses it every time.
So she leaves
that
him.
belonged to her first husband.
Yeah. So she leaves him to die, but he scoots his way to the elevator. This was nerve-wracking because I kept thinking she was going to come back. Like, every time the elevators opened, because it's all that. What is wrong with my dog?
He's got to go outside.
Oh, is she going?
I don't hear her, so I don't know.
I'll tell her.
I was so proud of Charles when he moved that pillow.
Yes.
Because it like that this whole scene like went back and forth, where I was like, oh no, he doesn't believe it, and then oh no, he's playing her, and she's playing him, and then she poisoned him, and then we're like, oh no, he recorded the whole thing.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, nice.
Yes.
For the podcast.
He's oh my god, that would be the most amazing podcast at that point, right? And he's like, now we can exclusively play the conversation.
It's like the fucking, I don't remember the fucker's name. The guy who got recorded in the bathroom being like, I did it.
Robert Durst. Yeah, we
yes.
we just were talking about him the other day because of the announcement and all of that. Yeah. And I was watching something, and weren't we just watching something and they mentioned that? Like, oh, I thought it was going to be my Robert Durst moment. Somebody was talking about something doing a documentary. Donnie, no?
I do remember, but I don't remember.
Right? Because I remember when that happened, we were just like, this is now like the third time in a week we're talking about Robert Durst. But yeah, that was the Jinx, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the HBO.
Dude, like they had to bring Sting up again in this episode with him trying to use the
phone. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Playing Fields of Gold.
And then the guy downstairs, the doorman, when he was like, oh, same thing happened to Sting, but don't tell him I told you. And she goes, I won't say anything. I'm just going to send you back up. And then when they walk up, the first thing, he's like, yeah, he's just passed out in the elevator with the Irish flu. Same thing happened to Sting.
Don't tell anybody I told you.
Right, you ain't hearing from me.
So you told everybody about this.
But
he probably signed it to the Nathan Lane's kid. That's how much he talks about this.
When they go upstairs and they find Charles, and Mabel's like, Charles, and then Oliver goes, okay, where'd you get a Quaalude? I'm sorry. That is such a fucking, like, old white dude drug reference. A Quaalude. I'm sorry. No, come on. Please tell me people aren't still doing Quaaludes.
I mean, I don't know. I'm surprised people still do cocaine.
I'm shocked every time it comes up. Crack, like, I don't know. I think that whatever is like the well-known thing is what I assume everybody's doing. If you're on drugs, like everybody's doing meth. And what's what is it? Fentanyl, or is that just something that's put in meth?
Well, fentanyl is a drug that you can take, but it's a thing that people are, speaking of cocaine, people are lacing cocaine with it, and that's how people are dying. Yes. Because they don't know fentanyl's in it.
Exactly. So, anyway, I don't know why we're talking about this. So, but yeah, the Quaalude. So they end up in the basement because they figure she is, they figure out that she turned a gas leak. She had the gas funneling through the vents. And because people were now able to use their fireplaces, it's going to spread. So they go down there to stop it.
She was trying to blow up the whole building.
The whole goddamn building. And when they go down there, I love it because Oliver's still in like podcast mode and he's like recording on his phone. He goes, the irritable bowel of the building. But my favorite part of this, when she confronts them and Charles thinks he stood up and he said this like amazing speech, but in reality he was just yeah.
I thought it was funny just when she first comes down there and she doesn't see
Mabel.
She doesn't see Mabel. Mabel ducks down so fucking fast.
Yes.
So she thought it was just she just thought it was Mark Short the whole time. It was hilarious.
So the conclusion, right? They saved the day. What's her name? Mabel calls Bunny a bitch in front of everybody, which I'm guessing is
yeah, like you was like, how does it feel to be the most hated person in the building now? And it's like,
Oliver's son comes over with the dog that I forgot existed. When I heard him saying, oh, hey, I was like, oh, we're finally going to see the grandkids. And then I looked up and it was a dog. And I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot he had his dog because he thought Sting poisoned it. And the son was going to give him money and he said no.
Yep. Because he's making money from this podcast now.
That's such a weird thing for him to change his mind. It's kind of like in a movie where like the guy shits on the girl for like the entire movie, but then like at the end she's rich or she gets hot, and then that's what it kind of felt like to me. Like, right. I thought you had legitimate reasons for not lending him more money, but now that he's actually doing something successful and has money, you want to give him the money? Like, it didn't make sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
But okay. Like, I feel like maybe they should have given them a different conflict. Because that was just felt weird. Mabel finishes the building mural, which, to each his own.
Yeah, I was like, I forgot this was happening.
Her aunt's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Why you've been here all this time to remodel this place and this is all you've done?
You got fucking Bunny on my wall. The guy with the... he got a new cat, Sebelin.
The only wall I have in this apartment is now painted. Why don't you have other... You're supposed to be here putting new walls in. There's no wall between my living room and my bedroom. What are you doing?
Yeah, so and what's his name? Charles sends a text to Lizzie or Lucy. And this felt weird to me because he was like, I forget what he said, but then she finally wrote back and all she wrote was hey ... And I was like, If I write somebody and they write back hey ... I don't know, that feels like maybe they don't want to be bothered. Like,
yeah, that's like new phone.
Right? Like, yeah, it's just like he said all of that, and this is the first time you're hearing from him in presumably months, if not years, and you're like, hey ... Ugh, okay. Speaking of text, though, at the end, they're on the rooftop celebrating. Mabel leaves to get more champagne, and Charles and Oliver both get texts from an unknown number saying, get out of the building now. And that loops us back to the first episode where they're rushing to get her. And he's like, I would leave her here. And he goes, of course you would. And he goes, of course I would. And that was like the first thing that made me laugh out loud on this show. And I'm happy to report that 10 episodes later, I still laughed. Like it was new. So when they rush in there, did you guys think for a second that it was Oscar?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was mad.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, Oscar, what? No, why?
Like, why? Exactly. It's like, why are we doing this? Like, he just got out of prison for something he didn't do. Cleared his name, and now this. So I'm so glad that it was Buddy instead. Right? That's what it was, right?
Then I was like, okay, then she's wearing Oscar's hoodie, but then they show Oscar when they're being escorted out the building wearing this hoodie. It's like, okay, it's a duplicate. And then you see all the fans wearing the same fucking hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hoodie that they were selling. That
Yes,
on
that's
the,
right.
On the podcast on the front of it.
Yeah. And when the detective is like, don't say a fucking word, she's like advising them, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
She didn't think they're like guilty. Okay. It's like, wait.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been like you could have taken that as her being like, "Don't tell anybody I helped you." Like, don't say.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I do think it was her giving them advice. Like,
just don't be stupid. Just.
But everybody, like all the other people, were giving stink looks. Like, I didn't trust you in the first place.
I absolutely I liked the way this ended, and it obviously it sets up season 2.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I feel like, why would you believe that they did this? Why would you believe that she did it? You know what I mean?
Hopefully this is something that kind of gets cleared up pretty quickly in the first episode or so.
Yeah, it feels like maybe that'll be what happens, but at the same time, since it's the show is murders in the building, like it feels like it might be the whole second season. Like it could be.
No. I mean, solving it would be the whole second season, but not them thinking it's them. Is what I meant.
That's where
you know what I mean? That's what I meant. Like, hopefully it's just like, everybody was looking at them doing their perp walk like, y'all just can't stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? And it's more that and less, I don't want a whole season of people thinking it's them because that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to check really quickly for feedback. And Donnie, if you have to go,
I do.
You can dip out. Okay. I got the nerve to be hungry. Donnie asked everybody earlier if they were hungry, and I was like, and now I'm actually kind of hungry.
So about the text that they received, because it was get out of the building, right?
Yes, get out of the building. Get out of the building now.
Yeah, and so I feel like obviously it could be anything. It could be any interpretation of that. But I feel like we're supposed to think it's whoever killed Bunny warning them to get out of the building. But I think it might turn out to be someone just wants them. It's continuing the story of people wanting them to move out. So it was someone just like being mad at them or something.
Ah, like it means nothing. Like yeah.
Yeah, like it's just
already
like it's
a red herring.
Like it might not be, but I mean, it would make sense to me if it were. Like
I
if
mean,
we're supposed to think, oh, that's like if maybe Oscar's the one who killed Bunny and he texted them to get out of the building. But
I
like
think
I don't think that's the case.
I think it could be something that, again, if you're not quite sure where you're going to go with season 2, you have that in there, and then you can retcon and say, like you said, it's something else, because it does not fit with whatever you came up with to be your, you know what I mean, to be a part of the main mystery. So
I just like, because it was a number that we don't have the number in here in the name. You know, it's like it's Oscar. Like that's what it feels like they're telling you it's Oscar. And maybe it was Oscar and he, you know.
Really, I didn't think it was like nowhere. No, like no part of my brain went to Oscar.
Really? You didn't think that that's who they were suggesting it was? Who killed him?
At all. I honestly thought it is just, and maybe because I knew what was coming, because again, we knew the ending from the first episode. So my brain was automatically thinking this is about what's about to happen. But I don't think Oscar has anything to, like, my brain wasn't anywhere with Oscar, that it's him or anything like that. The first time he popped into my head is when they rushed in that room, and I thought, no, they fucking didn't kill Oscar.
Yeah, I feel like it felt like they were foreshadowing some, like, shade onto him, some suspicion onto him, when I forget exactly what was said, but it was him and Mabel, and he says something, and she's like, oh, wow, you're sure taking this really well for someone who just spent, 10 years in prison, or whatever it was that she said. Like, he had said something, and I was like, that's a weird line for them to have her say there.
Really?
And then when someone died at the end, obviously, like, I was like, oh, maybe they want us to think Oscar wasn't taking it so well.
Oh, yeah, that's so interesting. I'd be real curious to see if, like, somebody else took it that way, because that's interesting. I hope that he's not, like, bad in any way, though.
Yeah, I don't think he actually had anything. I just feel like, I felt like
maybe they want
angling it that way.
Yeah. I want them to, I hope they could figure out something better to do with him.
Yeah. Especially with, like, the text. Like, it just... Because, like, who else are we supposed to think texted them?
That's what I mean. I think it's supposed to be tied to whoever killed Bunny, and we just don't know yet. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's what I mean, is like...
So I don't... So when he says, whose number is this? And he goes, I don't know. I think it's just supposed to be... Not that it's someone who would have their number, but they wouldn't have theirs, but it's just like somebody using like a burner, if that makes sense. Yeah. Right. Or, I was going to say from a payphone, but you can't send text from a payphone. I'm old and high. No.
You should be able to send text from a payphone.
You really should.
It feels like something that we missed, right? Like it should have happened in like 1999. Yes,
exactly. I was just gonna say, like, around the early 2000s, like, I feel like that should have been a thing, but we moved beyond it, but like that never happened, right?
I don't think so. Although there was, like, I forget what movie, but it was something that there was technology that you can hook into a payphone and, like, turn it into a computer.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there was, I forget exactly, it was a movie or a TV show where they showed that happen. But it was real technology that did it.
Yeah. Watch, like, somebody's gonna listen to this and be like, yeah, duh, you could totally do that. They had them in, like, airports and, like, I don't know.
I mean, you could call a beeper from a payphone and kind of send a message.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. Oh my god. Remember that?
I never had a beeper, but I do remember.
Oh my god. My favorite beeper was white. I had a white beeper. I thought I was so cool with that thing. Just like putting it on your belt loop. What were we even doing? Like, what?
I remember wanting a beeper.
And like why? Like in retrospect, it's so like it's good, but it's also like so inconvenient because like you got you get the beep, right? You get the page, and then it's like now you got to go find a phone.
Yeah, that's why it's like if you can send the message on the beeper,
right.
Or like Kelly Rowland, if you can use Microsoft Excel. Do you remember that?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. The video. No, yes.
Sending it to Nelly.
Yes. On her little BlackBerry or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was like a clamshell. It was weird.
All right, so we got some feedback from Kimberly. So, wow, it's been like 2 weeks since this episode. Why did I feel like it was just a week? I'll tell you why, because life has been hard. All right, first, I love this episode from beginning to end. Yay! Second, I called Holly from the office as the killer back in episode 4, only to be faked out by the reveal in the next to the last episode. Really? What was going on in episode 4 with Holly? Was that like the episode she was in?
Yeah, I think it was just like the episode where she showed up.
And Kimberly was like, that white woman did it.
I think it's funny that like calling her by her character in The Office because like I don't fucking know her from The Office.
Yeah, she was Michael's girlfriend, I think, for a while. Yeah, you're like whatever.
No, I mean I know Michael. I don't like. I've seen probably 5 episodes of The Office.
I've seen like a couple of seasons, maybe. Yeah.
Wow, you're a true fan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I both hate and love that. Oh, the fact that she called it so early and then they made her doubt herself. I hate that my conviction was shaken. I love that the show got me. Hell yeah, I'm so down for season 2. Me too. I am really happy about the return of this and oh my god, the other show that it just came up the other day that we covered. Oh, Hunters.
Oh, they got a second season of that?
You don't sound pleased.
I mean, I just was surprised.
Yeah, like Donnie, you didn't see he tagged us in an article about it in the group. They were talking about Hitler.
I probably saw it.
Do you remember like how that ended?
I was over here like, I mean, I don't want to say spoilers, but I'll say, I was like, season 2, they're going to get that guy to come back? And I was like, oh, wait, never mind.
Sorry, guys.
I guess they can't have season 2 because, like, they don't got to worry about getting that character, that actor.
Right. I know what you mean.
It's like, if that character was still there, then it would be like, okay. It'd be more difficult for season 2.
Can we talk about really quickly? You don't remember the joke?
What joke?
That we told at the end of it. It's so funny that we're talking about this because I'm about to make a Titans reference. And we're going to be recording that tomorrow.
What was the?
Because like the reveal at the end of what's it called? Hunters, which I guess I won't say, is like the reveal of a big personality, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you did just say it.
Well, maybe people didn't really hear me. And so we were like, who could play that guy? We said it was going to be Sir Jorah Mormont.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had just played, because we were still like shook that he was Bruce Wayne.
It was like, okay, he was still like not good as Bruce Wayne. And so that's what made the joke kind of work. This season, he was okay. Now the joke's kind of like, maybe he could play him.
Yeah, maybe he could be.
Maybe he could pull it off. I don't know.
Oh my god. All right. So that is it. Thank you guys for listening. I need to look at the schedule and figure out what the next free thing is. I think it's the Mysterious Benedict Society thingy. Yeah, sorry, I needed your driver's license. Bye. Donnie's leaving. I had his wallet. I think it's the Mysterious Benedict Society, which is on Disney Plus. I think that's the next free thing, and I believe we would be starting at that at the end of the month, November. Oh my god, can you believe it's November?
No. I cannot. I know, I'm looking at the schedule. There's a lot of shit on there. Like, not bad. I don't mean bad like shit. I mean like a lot of stuff on there.
It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
I'm like, what the fuck even is most of this?
So glad that you asked. So I'm loving TV right now. Super, super excited for the stuff to come. But, we're still covering Money Heist. We're starting season 3 of that. I don't want to say like too much about certain stuff because I don't know what people are listening to. So, but the podcast of us discussing the season 2 finale is already up. I think people will be surprised, to how I felt about it and the series going forward. But we're doing Foundation season 1. It's on Apple Plus TV. It's so good.
I want to see, like, it's so hard to be like, oh, I'm gonna pay for Apple Plus TV. Like,
I know,
because I want to watch like Ted Lasso. I want to check it out at least.
Yeah,
and I want to like this Isaac Asimov show. That sounds cool.
It's so good. Listen.
How much is Apple?
Oh fuck! Hold on a second. I have to look at. I don't know. I think it's less than that. I could probably log into my Apple account real quick and see my subscriptions. I think that's how I pay it. I think it's through this. What was I gonna say? Oh, if you are Apple Plus TV, okay, $4.99.
The thing is, like, I pay $5 for this. I pay $5 for that.
Yeah. Okay, but is there something that you're paying for that you're not going to be using for like the next month? You could just swap. You know what I mean? Like, do a swap for a month.
It's so hard for me to do that.
Why?
Because I'm just like, once I start doing something, I'm like, I don't want to stop doing it. It's like I still fucking pay for Funimation.
Oh my god! Listen, wait. What? Why do you pay for Funimation?
Because I was watching. Fuck. I think I wanted to watch Dragon Ball. I wanted to go back, and I hadn't actually watched the original Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just like, I was like, oh, I'll just watch that because I wanted to rewatch Dragon Ball Z. That's why I was. But I was like, when I started looking at it, I was like, oh, here's Dragon Ball. I'll just watch that first and then go through that into Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. Dragon Ball, it's like 75,000 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and a lot of the early stuff is really fucking like weird. Like,
doesn't hold up.
Here's Goku, this child's penis. It's like, what? Why is this? What? What is this? And he's like looking at Bulma's dress, and I'm like, and then fucking Master Roshi's a pervert. It's like, wait, what the fuck happened? Like, how is this? How do you go from here? And that's the thing, is it's so entertaining, like, as a show, and then it just has those weird fucking moments in it, and I'm like, what the fuck even? What is this? Like, the first time you see Goku, he's naked. Because, like, he's, like, he's an alien, and he's from, he's, like, he lives, like, in the woods, and he's never actually encountered people. And it's like Tarzan or something.
He's, like, raised by wolves.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's that kind of thing. And so it's like he doesn't know to wear clothes and shit. And it's just like, but it's like I get it.
Even
But at the same
Tarzan
time,
had a
it's weird.
loincloth, though.
Yeah, but like he wouldn't really.
Did you want to see the dick or not, John? I'm confused.
I mean, I didn't want to see it, but I'm just saying, if you're talking about like authenticity.
Oh my god. So that's why you still have Funimation.
Yeah,
so
that's the point. Is like I started watching. I watched like fucking 40 episodes of it, and I haven't watched it in like months at this point. I just still have it because I'm like, well, I'm gonna go back. And I did use it when I watched Attack on Titan, and so like, you know,
yeah,
I got reasons.
Okay,
it's there, just like Hulu. Like before this show, Only Murders in the Building. What the fuck was I watching on Hulu?
See? Okay, so now this is done. Cancel Hulu for a month and try Apple TV Plus. So Foundation
I'm just going to get Apple TV Plus if I
okay, then just get Apple TV Plus. So Foundation is really, really good. Like you said, it's based on an Isaac Asimov novel. It's a sci-fi. I was worried that it would be hard to get into. Because it would be a lot of crazy sci-fi stuff in terms and mixture of like real science and I was like, but it's been smooth and I really like it.
Let me ask you. You watched Devs, right?
Yes.
Is this anything like that?
No.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
See, I was hoping it kind of was.
Like Devs. Wait. Devs is the computer company, right?
Yeah, where they like see in the past. And
yeah. No, it's like
I was hoping this would be like that kind of a like not the same kind of story, but like that kind of show.
No, it's like it's like a Game of Thrones. No, that's not fair. Let me tell you what it's about. I'll tell you what it's about, and then you can go from there. So the premise is, I'm not even sure what like year this is supposed to be, but it's like not even our galaxy, so I don't know if it matters. But like, there's this ruler. He was Cleon the First, and upon his death, he started this process like where he cloned himself. And so and it's called the Empire, and they rule. And what they do is they decant, and this is how they phrase it, his clones at 3 separate stages in his life. So there's the youngest one is Brother Dawn. The middle one is Lee Pace, his character. He's Brother Day. And then
Brother Dusk.
Yes, and I can't, I can't think of the actor's name. I think it's Terrence Mann is playing him. So good. Okay, so they rule everything from this planet called Trantor, right? And this girl from a planet where math and science is forbidden. It's like against their religion. She comes to Trantor because she's like a super brain mathematician, to work with Jarrett Harris's character, who deals in, it's called psychohistory, and it's basically predicting the future, to predicting the path of humanity with math.
Oh, and I like this.
This. So there you go. That's all I'll say. And so it kind of it's really, really good. Donnie and I are really enjoying it. And the funny thing is, like, so, they dropped the first 2 episodes and I was on vacation and so then they dropped the third because remember I extended the vacation. Mm-hmm. And so we did, I want to say I think the first podcast was those first 3 episodes. And it was like a lot. Like, we're like doing math. We're like, okay, so this means this, right? And it was basically like me explaining stuff to Donnie, right? And then this week we just recorded for episode 6. That podcast is up. We recorded for episode 6, and Donnie was explaining shit to me. I was like, wait, what? What's Invictus again? I like it. I like it a lot. And I was really happy to hear that it was renewed for a second season. So we're covering that. And then
I like that. It reminds me of, you ever see the movie Pi?
No.
It's, Darren Aronofsky.
Yes.
It's his first movie. And in that, the guy, he's a mathematician, basically. And he devises, like, I don't remember, it was like the name of God or something.
Okay.
It's an interesting movie.
I like that. I think you'll like it. One thing I didn't mention, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It is just, it's beautiful to look at. You could tell they spent money. The technology looks good. But at the same time, you got these 3 guys ruling on the throne, like a young boy, Lee Pace, and then I was calling him Santa Negan because he kind of looks like Jeffrey Dean Morgan with like a Snow White beard to me. And it was working for me, okay? But anyway, they're sitting there like Roman, emperors on these thrones, and it's very much, in the future, high tech, space travel and all that stuff. I'm really digging it. As a matter of fact, I got excited earlier because the thing popped up on my phone that the new episode just dropped. So if you think you're gonna get Apple TV Plus, oddly enough, the next show we're covering, Invasion, is also on Apple TV Plus. Oh, and the other thing I was going to say, again, every week that we talk about these shows, I'm like, Apple Plus got a lot of goddamn nerve. They got a lot of nerve because we went from joking, like, I'm not getting Apple TV Plus, to covering like 3 fucking shows on it. So yeah, this week we're recording our Ted Lasso season 2 podcast. We're going to talk about the entirety of season 2 in one show. The other Apple TV Plus show we're covering is Invasion. We kind of talked about this a little bit with John before. I gotta tell you, I watched the first 3 episodes. Love it. Again, gorgeous. Looks good. I don't know what the fuck is going on, and I like it. It reminds me of like honestly, John, I cannot tell you what it's about, other than clearly aliens, right? But it reminds me of
spoiler alert.
But I mean, shut up. Invasion. It reminds me of like Interstellar meets The Arrival meets.
Now you're talking my language.
Kind of like War of the Worlds, but it's weird because it's like, I won't spoil anything. I'm just gonna and I can't, okay? And this is what I mean. Like, I just don't know what it's about because right now it's just like slice of life. Like, they're showing you clearly this thing is about to happen or is happening where people are, but who the people are and where they are is so different. So you have like Sam Neill, who's like this, is it Kansas? He's this sheriff. It's his last day of work. He's retiring. His freaking partner is, oh my God. She was going to be in Captain Marvel, but she had to drop out. She's in the She's Gotta Have It show on Netflix. Is it Marshawn something? Oh, I feel like I'm going to mix her name up with the woman who replaced her in Captain Marvel, who is now in James, who's now 007. And I'm a black woman and I should have both of their names, and I'm totally fucking this up.
That's
is it like because it's like a name that like a typical name, and then it has like DeWanda. That's right. Right? DeWanda Wise. Is that her name? Because it's kind of like my first name. Okay.
I'm looking at on Wikipedia and her name's not on here, so I was trying to help, but
it's the look up DeWanda. I'm gonna do it right now. You look it up. Tell me what you see. You'll know her when you see her. Yeah, that's her name. DeWanda Wise. Okay. So she plays his partner, right? And then there's there's stuff going on in this Kansas town. Again, it's his last day. I won't ruin anything. And then in Japan, there's this space launch that's about to happen, and there's 3 astronauts on board, I believe, 3 or 4, but only 1 woman. And there's a woman who's like working at the, like in the control center or whatever, and she goes in to do the check with her. And so the space shuttle takes off and the girl goes home and they're lovers. And I'm like, what? This is great. And it's completely in Japanese, right? And I didn't recognize any of these actors and stuff. That's like Sam Neill and Tawanda Wise was like the most recognizable. That's another thing I really loved. And then you get like a soldier who's like, I don't remember where he is, but he's somewhere in the Middle East. And I had to look it up. I thought it was Denzel Washington's son. What's his name? David?
John David.
I'm mixing up all my black people tonight, but I can do that. But it's like he's over there when it somewhere when it kicks off, and it's like his platoon.
Shamir Anderson.
That's it. He's going through something, and then there's like other stuff. Like, so it's just all this stuff is happening, but you don't yet know. It's clearly some sort of like alien contact is being made in, weird ways, and that's it. That's all I'll say. And go ahead.
I was just, it reminds me of Babel.
Yeah, I can see that.
The way you're describing it.
I can see that. Yes.
Like it's similar to Babel.
Exactly.
But also like it's from their different perspectives. Like, are they like different? Like, I'm trying to think like, because when you first started saying it, I was like, oh, is it kind of like Rashomon, where like each person is telling a story, but like when one person tells their version of it and then the next person tells the same story.
No. These people haven't connected yet at all.
Got it. Yeah. So
it's just like different parts of the world, and yes, but it's like the world is experiencing all like the same event. Like something happens when Homegirl's out in space. There's like, the Sam Neill, some like crops, weird shit happening there. When shit goes wrong with your crops. Usually aliens, like that type of stuff. So when I say I don't know what's going on, I just don't know how it's all connected yet. And clearly you kind of get who like your heroes are supposed to be. But the cool thing is I've watched 3 episodes and so far it hadn't done too much looping back. So it's just fresh and new and good. It's just, I'm really, really enjoying it. And I saw we got quite a bit of feedback for that. So I'm happy people are watching. We're recording for that Saturday, I think. And then what else are we covering?
Matt Richter did the music, right?
Yes! Oh, thank you! I'm so happy you said that. So when I watched the first episode of Invasion, and there's like, the like cold open scene, and then the theme music plays, it hit me it was like somebody hit me in the gut. Immediately I was like, oh, and I was like, this is like, and then The Leftovers like popped into my head, and I knew immediately, and I was reaching for my phone to look up who did the music because I knew it would be Max Richter, and then it's right there on the screen. It was, so I posted about it in the group, and I said, even if you guys aren't going to watch this, if you have Apple TV Plus, just go check out, if you like The Leftovers, go listen to the theme for the show. And somebody else commented about it, and I told her, I said it was like a punch in my gut, and she goes, oh my God, that's what I was typing, but I deleted it because I thought you would think I was crazy. I was like, no, I had an emotional, physical like reaction to hearing his music. It's so good. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that.
It made sense that you said Arrival.
Oh, right. I've forgotten that. And I really like that movie. So, we're doing that.
Well, I guess Johan Johansson did Arrival, I guess, but Matt Richter was involved.
Who was the one that I did my music thing on? That wasn't Johan, right? That was, who was that? It was,
who did, what was it, what movie?
Oh my God.
Was it
Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman those
Tessa
were,
Thompson. It was 2 guys, right?
Yeah, it was 2. That's such a good score.
Was it? They're not brothers, right? But it is two guys who composed that movie. Why can't I think of the name of that movie?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of it right now. Annihilation.
Yes, I was gonna say. I think it was one word starts with an A. So that's okay. Arrival. No, I was thinking Annihilation. All right, and that's not. Those are two brothers. Because remember, you helped me pick that. I did a film course.
Yeah, I don't think they're brothers.
Okay, but it is two guys, right?
Yeah, they did that, and they also did Ex Machina.
That's right. Two
guys. And they also did Debs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Anyway,
I mean, all of those are Alex Garland.
Got it. So what else are we covering? Oh, Kaylee and I just finished Signal. That goes up. It's gonna be up the same day as this tomorrow. And we started Erase, which is our next foreign drama based off of the anime that we just finished. Erased, which was lovely and sad and beautiful, and so far we're really digging the live action series. It's scary. Like we were watching one episode, John and Kaylee were lying here in my bed under the blankets, we're watching it, and like it was something happened, we both jumped. Like this, I felt my heart started pounding hard. It was so scary. It was like it wasn't even a jump scare. It was like a subtle thing, but we saw it at the same time. Terrifying. But anyway, so we finished Erase, and our next anime we just started, and I could talk about this show for days. Demon Slayer. Oh my God, John, have you seen any of it?
No.
John.
I have no idea what it's about.
John. We're gonna have to wrap up because my kids are now asking for food. Everybody's getting hungry. All of us declined dinner earlier when Donnie asked, and now we're all sitting here like, really quickly, Demon Slayer. It's so good. I'm not even gonna tell you what it's about. It's on Netflix. It's gorgeous.
I think yes.
Yes, but like there's
slaying of demons.
Yeah, there you go. So, but there's like, please watch it. Please watch it. Please watch it. Please watch it. All I will say is that there's something you'll see, like one of the episodes, and it's like one of the first 4 episodes. It's not like a huge investment. It reminds me of, there's like a nod to Kurosawa. Mm-hmm. Seven Samurai. Mm-hmm. And so remember how we saw that in The Mandalorian, the episode with Rosario Dawson?
Yeah.
That kind of feel. There's like a nod to that in one of the episodes. But the way it's done, I immediately thought, I was like, John would dig this. John would dig this. But the animation sometimes, John, it looks real. It's so fucking trippy. But the story is great. It's beautiful. It's funny. It can be a little scary. Oh, please watch it, John. It's so good.
It's like, season 2 is still...
It just started recently, yeah. So, check it out. All right, let me go feed my kids. So we kind of did a shoot the shit at the end, too.
Yeah, I held back, though. So we could have some more shit to shoot.
Yeah, it's for tomorrow. Good. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to us discuss this. Like I said, I'm still looking for something else that we can do for free. I'm thinking, again, Mysterious Benedict Society we'll probably start watching at the end of the month, recording so that it will be out in December. But like I said, you just heard me gushing to John about all the great stuff that we're covering over on patreon.com/podcastfandom. That's it. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.